There are 3 companies in the United States that are working on a vaccine. These are well-known companies, including Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. They're not beholden to any political party, any political ideology. The President of the United States, what the President has done is he's organized the federal government to better coordinate with these companies, to share information, to joint test the products that they're coming up with, and to monitor each other. In other words, there's massive coordination going on. He's ripped out all the red tape to make this go as fast as possible. And the President's being attacked by the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others, the Drudge Report, suggesting that this is political because he's rushing it before the election. And I'm thinking to myself, what's he supposed to do, tap the brakes before the election? He made it well known, this Operation Warp Speed. He wanted to get vaccines and therapeutics as fast as possible to save lives. And now he's being attacked for it. Oh, it must be political. This is so crazy. It's not even funny, so crazy. And speaking of crazy, I circle back to Kamala Harris. Now, she was interviewed, and this is CNN on Sunday, Dana Bash, and I want you to listen to this. Go.
President Trump has promised a coronavirus vaccine by the end of the year or maybe sooner. Would you trust that vaccine?
Now, stop. Would you trust that vaccine? This is why you hate CNN and you hate the media. Would you trust that vaccine? Why, is President Trump in the lab developing the vaccine? It's so outrageous. And so the implication, of course, is that this is all political. The vaccine can't be trusted. This isn't news, ladies and gentlemen. This is propaganda. She could work for Xi in China or Putin in Russia. It's just so bad that if we have a vaccine, shouldn't we celebrate it? Shouldn't we be cheering? Shouldn't we be talking about the number of lives that might be saved? That this is a remarkable American achievement, American ingenuity and inventiveness? No. Instead, do you trust that vaccine? So that is a leading question, which is intended to get her hooked and to be negative about the vaccine. Does a tremendous disservice to the public. Go ahead.
I think that we have learned since this pandemic started, but really before that, that there's very little that we can trust that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth.
All right, stop. We can't trust what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. First of all, this isn't coming out of Donald Trump's mouth. Secondly, she is the one who is a pathological liar. Remember, let's wear a mask. Everyone should wear a mask. We're going to mandate a mask. Joe Biden's demonstrated what a leader he is because we're going to mandate a mask. Well, we're not going to mandate a mask. John Biden says, we're going to mandate a mask. Well, it may not be constitutional, so we really won't mandate a mask. This is their big idea. Everything is political. Everything is hackery. Go ahead.
Called it a hoax. He has muzzled the public health
He never called the virus a hoax. He called the attack on him a hoax. These are liars. These are propagandists. These are demagogues. He never called the virus a hoax. As a matter of fact, he was the only one in leadership in Washington, D.C. who took it seriously. And you know by now what he did. He shut down travel between China, shut down travel between Europe and the United States, while Biden was saying nothing, while she was still focused on impeachment, while her dear friend Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown without a mask telling everybody to join in, while Fauci was telling America, you don't need a mask, this won't be any worse than the flu. It was Trump who put his foot down. So it's just outrageous how they lie and how CNN and Dana Bash allow her to lie. Go.
Of it. He has created false expectations for the American people and American families, even though if he had listened to the scientists and the experts.
What? Listening to the scientists and the experts? Who the hell does she think is developing this vaccine? The scientists and the experts in the private sector, of which she knows nothing. He's listened to the science every single step of the way. It's Joe Biden who says he would shut down the entire government if a scientist told him to, and now he's backed off that too. So it's just appalling. Go ahead.
The gravity of it and the power that he as President of the United States has to actually save lives. And none of those were his priorities. His priority...
None of those were his priorities, ladies and gentlemen. No. All those efforts to help in the early days with ventilators and respirators and hospital beds and PPE and hospital military boats and the Javits Center and on and on and on. All those efforts by the federal government, unparalleled, unprecedented in modern American history. And also getting the private sector assembly lines to switch over to develop things like ventilators and so forth. He didn't care about lives, ladies and gentlemen. He just blew it off. Operation Warp Speed, again, with the vaccines. What does she think he's trying to do? He doesn't care about lives, but he's trying to get a vaccine and therapeutics out there as fast as possible. No, you don't understand. That's politics. These are sick people. Go.
His priority was to do whatever he thought was politically expedient. And
what was politically expedient? Do whatever he thought was politically expedient. God, I would just like 30 minutes questioning Kamala Harris. Just 30 minutes. That's 15 minutes. 15 minutes, that's all I need. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you a little inside baseball footnote to this. We've been trying all weekend, haven't we, Mr. Producer, to get the mayor of New York on my Fox show. And they're not even responding to me. Because I want to confront, politely, but forcefully, the mayor of New York on the riots, on the restaurants, on the virus. He will not come on my show. His people won't even respond. This is what we get. Bernie Sanders all these years, same damn thing. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and she's a gutless wonder, Kamala Harris. Go ahead.
So, no, I would not trust his word. I would trust the word of public health experts and scientists, but not Donald Trump.
But do you trust that in the situation where we're in now, that the public health experts and the scientists will get the last word on the efficacy of a vaccine?
Why does she assume they won't? Why does she assume they won't? Go ahead.
If past is prologue, that they will not. They'll be muzzled.
What is she talking about, muzzled? Nobody can muzzle Fauci. He never shuts the hell up. Same with Birx. Same with everybody else. I mean, in 2009, when Obama and Biden were in charge of the swine flu and they screwed it up every single step of the way, you didn't hear from Fauci all the time or anybody else. They stopped the testing. They said it's a pandemic, no need to test. They got the vaccine, they got it late, they didn't produce enough, they weren't thinking ahead on how to actually produce the delivery devices, you know, like syringes. They hadn't figured out how to distribute it, and on and on and on. And Trump is ahead of the curve on all that stuff. Go ahead.
Rest. They will be sidelined because he's looking at an
That's enough. She's an idiot and a liar. I cannot stand that woman. I cannot stand her. It's like Nancy Pelosi must have mentored her. It's just so full of crap.